Oh, I was this is a mood shift. Holy shit. I was laying in bed for like an hour or two and I was going to do this like joke. My favorite joke I've ever told is the parable of the scorpion and the frog. I think it's my favorite story ever. The parable of the scorpion and the frog. Can I get back in that mood? I was in a completely different mood. Sometimes I will lay in bed and I will think of Jodie Foster, and there's this line from Contact where she's like, I cannot understand even one of these moments. These moments are unexplainable. Every moment is, they should have sent a poet, right? They should have sent a poet. You know, uh, you were in a completely different mood. Now you're in a see, the mood I was in then is not the mood I'm in now. Damn it. This is not going to work. Hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not going to work, is it? Which one do you want to do? Hmm. Well, it was like Jodie Foster. It's like, you ever had like that feeling of like each moment is so inexpressible. Each moment is so sublime. I mean, now I'm not in that mood, but I was like laying in bed and I was like, each moment is so sublime and unexpressible. And now I'm in a completely different mood. Damn it! And then I went and watched House of Cards parody because there's just one House of Cards parody where the guy's like he's doing like the side talk right in the middle, but it's like a 10-year-old skit. That's like a 15-year-old skit actually. Holy moly! Hmm. Hmm. Then what? Oh, but it was like good because it was a scorpion and frog. That's still a good joke actually. That's probably a really good joke. But whatever. I thought you were shitting on Italian people. Yeah, because it's fun to shit on Italian people. Did you know? 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 Look, there's no such thing as the mafia. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no such thing as Cosa Nostra. Like, think about this, right? Think about this. 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 Italy. Are Italians even Europeans? Probably not. Like I don't want to sound like a jerk, but if like Italy, if Europe lost its boot, would Europe really be missing anything? Like think about this. Can are Italian people even smart enough to do organized crime? Look, I've met Italian people. You know how like in February you go into school and they teach you about like peanut butter history month and you got to learn about like Skippy and Jiffy and Peter Pan and all the different types of peanut butter. And, I try not to roll my eyes, but oh my God, I always end up rolling my eyes in February when I have to learn all the different, peanut butter brands. And, it's like, come on, man, And then I started thinking about this and I was like, there's no fucking Cosa Nostra. Think about this. The Italians made that shit up, man. The Italians made up the Cosa Nostra. Think about it. Have you ever met a smart Italian person? Italian people are dumber than a doorknob. They're dumber than fucking, I've met Italian people. They're like, spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. They pour like ketchup on some noodles. They cut up some spam. They form it into little circles. They throw it on some spaghetti. And I'm supposed to be like, yeah, Italians are really smart. And I'm trying not to roll my eyes, because I know who Italians are. Hmm. Hmm. But then, they have these propagandists like fucking Coppola. And, he's Italian, so he's trying to like compensate. So he's like, he makes these movies like The Godfather. Like, I'm supposed to believe this bullshit. Like, Italians can fucking pull that shit off. I know who Italians are. They're fucking, they're ketchup and pasta and some spam. I'm not believing that Cosa Nostra shit. That's bullshit. That's just the Italians trying to like compensate for just how incompetent and stupid they are. I mean, think about it. And so there's no such thing as Cosa Nostra. Everyone knows that, right? I mean, it's one of those conspiracy theories that got created to because like they had all these like artists and stuff. The whole culture got eaten up by like Goodfellas, The Godfather. It's The Sopranos and stuff. Look, we're not stupid. We know that's Hollywood bullshit. There's not been one smart Italian person in the history of history. There ain't been one smart Italians are fucking, I don't want to sound, I don't want to say, I don't want to say that if Europe lost its boot, it wouldn't be missing nothing. You know what I mean? Was that your joke? Yeah. I like that line, the line about them losing their boot. I like the peanut butter joke, too. That was funny. The history. I can name all the peanut butter brands. So where's this going? Well, you're gonna do the scorpion and the frog joke. I don't feel like doing it now. This is exhausting. What other joke were you gonna do? Oh, I was gonna do the pull into the ether joke. Because you got pull from the ether. Pull from the ether. I don't even know what that looks like. Yeah, because if I had my eyes open, I know how ridiculous I look. The key is to keep your eyes closed. If you keep your eyes closed, this place isn't as bad. You gotta keep your eyes closed. Otherwise, you'll see what stuff looks like. Ooh, you were doing like these Plato in the cave jokes? Yeah, that's the other one you wanted to do, right? Like, how do you know if you are seeing the shadows or the real thing? How do you know if you are seeing the shadows? How do I know if the shadow, are they humans or are they reptile people? Are the reptile people the shadows or the people? So you're mixing this up here. So you're saying like, are the people reptile people? Are the shadows the reptile people? Or the people the shadows of the reptile people? Are the Terminators the real people and their outer flesh the shadow? Or is the shadow which ones are chained up and which ones are seeing the truth? Yeah, it's a epistemological sort of a joke. You're gonna go through and say which one's which is the T800 or the skin, the shadow, or the you're gonna do like a Plato joke? Yeah, it was better. Some of these jokes are a lot better when you're laying in bed and the room is dark. It's not my fault that these suck. Also, really, I mean, you've never laid in bed and like been just like overwhelmed with like a sense of sublime. What's the difference between subliminal and sublime? Well, sublime is like big. Subliminal is like the CIA shooting X-rays into your head. There's probably a connection there. The sublime and the subliminal. Did you know when you go to Niagara Falls, the CIA is shooting beams into your head to make you think like Niagara Falls is like sublime? Ooh, nice. Good job. Never thought of that one. Grand Canyon. Yeah, the Grand Canyon. The CIA shoots beams into your head to make you think the Grand Canyon is sublime. They're doing it subliminally. That's a good one, right? Yeah, I don't know. Probably. Any other? Oh, you're gonna do this whole huge parody? See, I actually wrote down. Did you break this into two? I don't remember. I actually wrote down all the different versions of Deca. Like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And there's probably a whole huge list. And then the whole premise of the joke is, it's really easy. Like understanding a billion is like really easy. Yeah, that's a joke. It's, what else? You're going to do the one where you're like, I was going to do this one where I was going to be like, the Pepsi shall become the Coke. The Coke shall become the Pepsi. And then you're just going to go through different stupid. Some of them were going to be like deep and some of them were going to be like really shallow. It was going to be like really fun because it was going to be like, the Indian shall become the colonist. The colonist shall become the Indian. And then I was going to be like, the Nazis shall become the Jews. The Jews shall become the Nazis. Hey, I mean, technically, the Israelis are kind of doing some Nazi stuff, but I don't really blame them. Some of that stuff they do, but I don't. Everybody becomes the opposite of what they are eventually. It's not their fault they became that. You can't really hold them responsible for that. You can't really hold any of these. Rome shall become the insurgency shall become Rome. Rome shall become the insurgency. Yeah, that's how it works. I told you, it's everything becomes the opposite of what it is. That's turning, blah blah blah. The falcon cannot hear the falconer, blah 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 blah. La 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 la. Blah 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 blah. Wah 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 wah. That's how it works. Anything else? Oh, YouTube said Trump's corrupt. Are they going to hit him with that? Yeah, of course he's corrupt. All the leaders of the world have been corrupt. I bet George Washington was corrupt. I bet Lincoln was corrupt. Grant was corrupt. He was like drunk. I bet fucking Jefferson Davis was corrupt. They're all corrupt. I mean, come on, they're politicians. You got to nip that stuff in the bud, man. You got to find your local city council. You got to nip that stuff in the bud. Have you ever noticed, like, Bill Clinton, governor, became president. George Bush, governor, became president. Barack Obama, senator, became president. Who else? Yeah, most of them. Donald Trump's the only one who went from like, well, he went from reality TV star to like president, but like 90% were like governors or senators or congressmen. You got to nip that stuff in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. You got to stop that stuff early, you know? You got to get in there with a shovel. You got to get them weeds and dig them out early, you know what I mean? You got to nip that shit in the bud. What does that term mean? Oh, I think it means like you got to stop it early. You got to stop it early. You got to find them politicians when they're young. You got to nip that shit in the bud, you know? You got to stop it early, you know? Yeah, you're doing another Death Star joke. Yeah, I was doing a Death Star joke. See, like the whole premise is like, you got to nip it in the bud. You got to get down to the core of the problem. And he's talking about like shooting a green laser into the earth. Yeah, that was really funny because it's Any other jokes? Oh, I can't remember. They're really good. Uh, uh-huh. So I guess that's. I mean, he's corrupt, but so was Obama. So it was. Oh, you could do the whole like. Oh, I like this one too. You know, they say America's like a Christian nation. Yeah, George Bush, the first one, the '90s. Read my lips. No new taxes. Satanist. Bill Clinton. Read my lips. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. This country is a Satanistic country. It's been a Satanistic country for like probably since it was created. You're just throwing the opposite of what people say, right? You're just saying the opposite. Like they say, America's a Christian country. No, it's been a Satanistic, demonic country since its founding. But then again, all the countries were probably. So you know. Any other jokes? Oh, pantheism and deism? Yeah, that's funny. I like pantheism and deism. I like pantheism because it's like they don't like pantheism. They never liked pantheism. It's a very narcissistic religion because it's like the self and the world around you become one thing because all things become God in pantheism. Yeah, like Spinoza. No one likes Spinoza. They don't like Spinoza. They'll never like Spinoza. You know, they want the God who gives them power and allows them to like do stuff to their enemies, but they don't want to be like, everything is God. They don't want to do that shit. That's a little too hippy dippy new age. It's like a new age version of it's a new age version of God, like pantheism is. Now deism, on the other hand, well, what is deism? Well, Jefferson was like a deist. It means you believe in like a watchmaker without or a watchmaker or something. Yeah, like I found a cell phone on the side of the ground, and did you know that it's like a clock? And do you know where that clock was made? They say they don't know where the clock is made. It's made in China, so that's where the clock was made. It was made in China. So, if you're ever wondering who made the universe, it was probably the Chinese. That was probably who made it, because they make everything now. Huh? That's very. I think you're missing the point of. Is it ontological? Is it? It's teleological. You're looking for teleology is the word you're looking for. Ontological is the one about the islands. I think it's the one about the islands. Did you know there's a perfect island? And because there's a perfect, I imagined a perfect island. Hence, a perfect island exists. I imagined a perfect sandwich, so a perfect sandwich exists. That's the ontological argument for a perfect sandwich. What else do you got? I got a lot of shit. I got tons of stuff. I was doing this shit. I was doing this shit back in 2004. It's just I didn't fucking say it on a camera. I had the decency to keep my fucking mouth shut and not share it. But nowadays, I've seen a lot of people sharing their crazy shit, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get in on the fun too. I was probably doing this back in I was like middle school too, technically. But now, decency. Hey, the country became satanic. It was always satanic, man. I mean, Bush was lying, the first one. Clinton was lying. The second Bush was lying. Hey, shit, the country's been a demonic Satan nation since, probably since its founding. I mean, shit, George Washington had no fucking respect for the king. Shit, you should respect the king, man. He's like the patriarch. You're supposed to respect your master. Isn't that an old Christian thing? Like, Christianity was never like a kill your master religion, right? It was never like, I don't think you're supposed to just pay your taxes. You people are just bad. You're demonic people. You didn't pay your taxes to the fucking king. You're a satanic nation, man. Really? Are you being serious? No, I'm just fucking around. I don't know. If I was alive in George Washington's time, I get the feeling I would have chose the wrong side. I would have been like, can't we just pay our taxes and be, he'll leave us alone if we pay our taxes? And they'd be like, you're a traitor. You're gonna pay the fucking stamp tax, and they probably tar and feather you. God fucking damn it, you're bad at choosing sides, aren't you? Yeah, it's not good, It's, huh. Well, Any other ones you had? Oh, I was gonna grab. You already said that. I was gonna grab into the zeitgeist. No, the ether. The ether. You're pulling from the ether. I don't have any other ideas. You go. You go walking or biking. Uh huh. Is that it? God, you should have. You're supposed to script this stuff, man. You're not supposed to like wing it. You're not supposed to wing it. Winging is bad. Like, oh my God, you can't wing this stuff. Yeah, but then it's not fun. It's like there's nothing fun about like writing a script. That's not fun. Like it's hard enough just writing deca, secta. What is it? Deca, hecta, kilo, mega, giga, tera. I didn't even write. Then there's quadrillion, quintillion, sextrillion, septillion. It sounds like they're just making this shit up. Why should I write something down if they're just making it up? They're making it up. Like I'm not gonna fucking write a script out for something. This world is fucking. They're just making this shit up as they go. You know that, right? There's no script to this shit.